Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining up, Keisha, Peter, George. I really appreciate you guys coming in here so early. And Peter, you got that right. Yeah, boy, let's go. That's right. Let's go ahead and get these tendies here. I think that we could actually have some pretty good movement come in today, I should say. You know, the market is actually holding up quite well, in my opinion, so far this morning. You know, the SPY is sitting like right around 415, which is a pretty decent resistance here. But I will say it does look like there is some green kind of coming in here to market open. So hopefully we can see some nice, maybe a breakout type of movement today with the SPY. I would definitely love to see that. You know, if the SPY starts moving up, it'll just be a really good day in the market overall. I've noticed that today Asana is having a pretty good morning so far, along with CRM. They are up a lot since their earnings last night. I know their earnings were pointing to the upside, but man, it really continued today. They're almost up to 180 now that the market actually opened up. I also noticed Snowflake was breaking out, along with, it looks like Blink, and a couple other stocks like CrowdStrike. So far today, guys, pretty good movement in the market. Like I said, that SPY is looking pretty good. I have a good feeling that we might be prime for a bit of a breakout play here today. Hopefully we can maybe get up through this high of like 417.87. I think that's going to be a pretty big level. But yeah, good morning, Mike, Kenya, Vicky, Renzo. I appreciate you guys joining up today. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want me to cover any specific stocks, or if you guys see anything breaking out, throw them in the chat and I will take a good look at them here. Keisha says, let's go Amazon. Yeah, here we go. Jay Deep says coin is sinking. Let's see Amazon really quick here. Wow, there we go, Keisha. It's continuing its movement to the upside. We're almost up to $2,500 here. Man, is it ever going to slow down ahead of this split here, Keisha? You know, Amazon's going to be splitting next week on Wednesday, or next week on Monday. So keep that in mind as we start to head in, as we start to progress through this week. You know, Amazon will be splitting this upcoming Monday. So always be careful holding that one over the weekend. But it does look like it's having a very nice pre-split run up, I guess you could say. So I'll definitely take this nice upwards price action here. And, you know, it's starting to break out in some pretty good ways. Like I said, a lot of growth stocks are also moving. I'm seeing Zoom running up, and I'm really liking the price action with them. You know, they had a pretty big drop down yesterday, and they are recovering that right back up here today so far. I'm also seeing Adobe up 3.76%. They're kind of breaking out above $430 today. And if I look at them on like a 1-year daily chart, it's actually looking pretty hot with Adobe. You know, they're starting to get in a pretty bullish pattern, in my opinion. And I have a feeling for the next couple days, they might be able to continue up. It does look like that SPY here is having a very good day so far. You know, we're having some nice green extension to the upside. So I will definitely take that with the SPY. You know, Jay Deep said coin was sinking there. So let's check it out. Wow, that is not good to see, Jay Deep. I feel bad for this one. Coinbase is down to $75 again after having a pretty decent day yesterday. I mean, it was all over the place, but it was still pretty decent. You know, I was hoping they'd start to recover back up, especially today with a lot of growth stocks doing good, but, you know, it just doesn't seem like they're able to recover up quite as well. I will say it does look like Bitcoin's holding its ground pretty well, though, Jay Deep, so who knows, maybe Bitcoin itself will be a little bit better. Keisha says, just scalped another 130% on Amazon and 400% yesterday. Keisha, that is amazing. Kudos to you for these amazing trades here on Amazon. I know you've been killing it this week with those Amazon trades. So yeah, just amazing holds. You know, you honestly hit it right on the head. You know, you got these right ahead of this pre-split run up, and it was a very good trade. So yeah, good job taking it there. Jay Deep says HPQ breaking resistance, and Peter says HPQ ripping to test new 5-year highs after a awesome earnings and forecast. Yeah, I heard about this actually. So yeah, HPQ is doing very, very well today. Yeah, I saw a lot with their earnings, and they're doing very well, like Peter said. So yeah, they are definitely ripping up here. J Deep says, are they breaking resistance? They're definitely breaking out above $40 there, which I love to see. And yeah, I would say that they're definitely breaking a key resistance here. There was a big resistance there right around $40. So as long as we keep running up now, we'll be okay. It does look like that in the past, whenever we previously broke 40 on HPQ, we ran up to like 41, 47 and then came right back down. So always keep that in mind, that there could always be like little fake outs and stuff like that going on. But either way, it's running up in a big way. And what's interesting is that IV is starting to now crash back down, of course, as this stock's moving up and as these earnings are out the window. So maybe it will make for some better options trades here over the next few days if the pricing can stay okay. But as of now, it's not really looking the best or the worst. But there we go. We have Raymond saying punching the bears. Yeah, that's I like I always like your emojis there, Raymond. You're always putting some cool ones down there in the chat. Hope your morning's going well for you. But yeah, kind of going to Facebook here, guys. I'm really eyeing up Facebook. They're making a pretty big push this morning. They're actually ripping up above 198 here as I'm speaking. And, you know, I really like this play. That looks like they might be trying to push up to around maybe $200 a share here. Guys, I mean, Facebook is jumping at like $1 increments here. I mean, they are starting to get a little bit explosive. I don't know if there's something special coming in with them or not. I'm trying to see on the Thinkorswim news tab here. I'm not seeing anything too crazy. It says BTS stars meet up with Joe Biden to deliver an important message. I don't even know what BTS is. Let's see what that is. Oh, Korean pop group. I don't know why that why that matters for Facebook, but either way, Facebook's popping. They're almost up to 199 now. My target on them was $200 if they could break above like 197.60. So let's see where they get to here. I think they can get really close to 200. They might have some trouble breaking 200 though. I will say that's probably going to be a big resistance. Hopefully it just breaks right out though, guys. But yeah, I will say Facebook is running up here at market open, and I will definitely take this this very nice price action. It's definitely having a good move there. Let's go check out Disney really quick too. See how they're holding up. Yeah, they're doing okay, only up like 1.2%. I will say, guys, that price action with Facebook though is very, very nice. So if you guys are into some momentum here, Facebook was exploding for a while. I will say, be very careful though. They're getting up to around $200, which is another big resistance. And that was kind of my target level there. So if you were scalping it on that breakout, great job. It was my free day trade in the Discord today. So if you guys are interested in playing those, just join up on the Discord and go to the hashtag day trading channel there at the top under the general tab, and you will see those types of plays. Oh no, that actually was not my free play today. Actually, believe it or not, but I was watching that. I did post this in the in my swing update this morning. I did post that I was watching Facebook for a possible move up to $200 in there. So that's where I posted it. But either way, I mean, it's breaking out in a big way, and it's having a pretty nice explosive move there. Like I said, Twitter is also holding up. It's just not looking quite as good as Facebook there. Peter says they have news. They are going to officially change their ticker name to Meta. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good, Peter. I mean, I didn't see that at least this morning yet, but that's pretty cool that they're doing that there. I actually see that Morgan Stanley lowers Meta's price target to $300, but you know, Meta is so high right now that $300 is still a pretty good number there. I've been hearing though they were going to change their ticker, but that's pretty cool that they're going to do it for sure. Yeah, here it is. There it was. 3 in the morning by Barron's. Yep, they're going to change it to META, it looks like. So that's going to be cool there. Wow, ahead of trading June 9th. Wow, interesting. Looks like Facebook is kind of dying off here, guys. That is very interesting to see. I'm going to have to, you know, maybe make a funny meme or something about that one whenever that one ends up going down. But yeah, let me know what stocks you guys are seeing with momentum today, guys, because, you know, Facebook was running up a lot there for a while. I know Amazon had some good momentum, but it is starting to slow down a little bit now. So, you know, trying to find some good runners today. let's see if CRM is still going. It looks like it is trying still here. I know good old Salesforce has been trying to go back on the run, but it's been having a lot of issues doing so. You know, NIO is looking pretty hot, I'll say, guys. If you guys are watching any stocks this morning, NIO is having a very nice breakout up above that high of yesterday, and honestly just really running up with a lot of momentum. So yeah, maybe watch this one. I did notice that their IV was kind of like crashing down, and I did see some news with NIO this morning, guys. So let me find the exact numbers here. It looks like they had some delivery numbers here. I'm gonna actually have to bring up an article on CNBC for this one, because they had some delivery numbers that I think are going to be very important to look at here, if we can find it, of course. You know, I'm probably going to like look now and it's not going to be anywhere. There it is. Chinese automaker NIO reports May EV sales constrained by COVID as rivals XPeng and LI Auto gain ground. So like it says here, XPeng and LI fared better. And so far this morning, like LI and XPeng have done pretty well. You know, they've been holding up and moving a little bit, but NIO's definitely doing a lot better. So I don't know, to see NIO outperforming even though they were doing worse is pretty good in my opinion. But they still say that orders remain strong, and they do say they expect improvement. So I guess that is good. But either way, it sucks to see that they're kind of getting hit because of everything happening in China with all the lockdowns and everything like that. It's probably definitely hurting their you know, supply chains and everything like that, of course. So nothing too crazy, but you know, it should have been some pretty bad news for them, but it was interesting because, you know, their stock is still moving up in a big way, and now it's up 4.3%. So hey, I guess I'll take it, but that news was not the best. It kind of showed that XPEV and LI were doing a little bit better. Snowflake here, though, is up 4.5%. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but it is breaking out in a pretty big way, having some pretty nice momentum here on the charts. I love the way we're starting to extend up above 130 here, which was a pretty big like area of resistance here over the past couple days, somewhere like 130 to 131. So now that we're breaking that, I'm pretty glad to see this big move up to like 134, 135. It's definitely helpful with Snowflake here. If you look at Snowflake on the Max Daily, I mean, this is one of the more brutal growth setups in the market. You know, like it was just pretty much straight down from 400 down to 100. It kind of reminds me of like Zoom, you know, just straight up destruction. So hopefully Snowflake can keep running back to the upside for us here. Let's see. J Deep says, yeah, NIO. Peter says NIO beat the May sales numbers. Yeah, they did beat it, Peter, but they did say that it was slowing down a lot, which was a little bit unfortunate. And they did say they got hit, but that is good that they went up, though, a lot. That is still cool to see. Keisha says CRM killed it after earnings. Yeah, they did. They really killed it, Keisha. They are exploding up 13%. It's still running up. I thought this one would start to slow down a little bit now, Keisha, but it's still going up to 182. I mean, that is a pretty big pop there. So, yeah, that's awesome here. Mike Chang says, anything significant come out of that Biden-Powell meeting? You know, I did not see anything, Mike Chang, that was significant at all. I don't know exactly what they talked about in that meeting or what, but I did not see anything too big come out of it, in my opinion. I will say, maybe we can kind of look at it here. I do see a nice article on Yahoo Finance where they kind of go over it here on the morning brief. I will say that I did see a lot of stuff about this, though. Yeah, apparently they talked a lot about inflation. Let's see. Translation is Biden will not force the feds to raise interest rates at a certain pace or magnitude. And although Powell is no stranger to the White House, he visited President Trump twice during the former president's consistent critiques on Twitter. Let's see. I want to see exactly what they talked about here. Damn. We're probably not going to get to see exactly what they said, which is a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to get to see exactly what they said. But I did see a lot of stuff come out, though, about, keep in mind, Joe Biden and a lot of different stuff with regarding inflation and everything like that. And the main thing that I think Joe Biden was reiterating with this meeting was that he was not going to push the feds to do something that they probably shouldn't do. He said that other presidents in the past have kind of pushed, for example, like Yellen and Powell in the past, and they've been kind of like pushing the Fed chairs to do what they wanted, as in maybe not raising rates or raising rates quicker or whatever it was. But pretty much Biden said he's just going to let the Feds pretty much work this one out on their own, which personally I like that. I think that's a pretty good thing that he's doing there. But in the end, it's good to see that he's meeting with them. The main thing is that he's just trying to help pretty much, I think, the overall consumer sentiment here. Obviously, to me, the big thing with Powell right now is that, he was touting inflation's transitory. Now inflation is, very rampant. And I think that Biden, they probably definitely said some stuff, through closed doors that nobody's going to hear. I'm sure Biden might have given Powell, a bit of his, like a bit of a piece of his mind there. But I will say that, obviously Biden wants the inflation down. So I'm sure that they also kind of talked about that in the background. Anytime inflation is very rampant, it's not good for a president's numbers. And I noticed that Biden's poll numbers are like super low right now, so they say in the headline. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at those meetings between Biden and Powell yesterday. But it doesn't look like we're going to get to hear the full story there, Mike. But nothing significant came out of it, though. The SPY didn't move. The market didn't fluctuate too much or anything like that. I think the main thing was just that Biden just kind of wanted to reiterate, I'm not going to push the feds, and although I do want inflation down, that's probably the whole point of that meeting there. But J Deep says Neo and Apple are still going. Let's see, Apple's running up today, huh? Wow, it really is. It's breaking 150 today. That's great, J Deep. So yeah, that's really starting to run up there. That's great to see that Apple's breaking out. And I will say it looks like they're breaking a pretty big resistance level that I've had on my charts here for a little while. So glad to see that we are moving back up through this. I think that definitely looks like a pretty decent breakout play right there. And you also said NIO was still going, and wow, it's up to 6% now today. Yeah, wow, $18.50. It's starting to really break. Yeah, it's having a really good day there, J Deep. So I'm really glad to see everything that's happening with Apple today, at least. That's really good. But yeah, I'm glad to see Neo up too. Like Peter said, they beat on those numbers there with their cars, I believe it was. Let's see if I can go back and maybe find that. Here it is. Let's see. Yeah, see, they were up 4% year over year, which is good. And like it said there, like he said, they delivered 7,000 vehicles in May, which was over the estimate. For some reason, this article does not put the estimate right next to the number, so that's a little bit upsetting there. But yeah, thanks Peter for posting that estimate with them. That's really good. Troy Stewart goes, there goes the stock con. CONN, big earnings beat. Let's see, CONN. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's not really running up too much there, Troy, but hey, I will say good enthusiasm though. I hope you make, you put $6 signs down there. I hope you make six figures off that trade, because man, it doesn't look like it's really moving all that much. But I will say that max daily chart, it looks pretty enticing to buy on the dip if you know the company or something like that. But man, that's rough. Peter says that banks are red. Better look out. That is not good, Peter. Let's see. Yeah, Goldman Sachs starting to run down. Bank of America pulling back. JP Morgan. Yeah, we're seeing the banks definitely come down. Let's see. Peter says, oh, today is the start of QE, Tom, and the banks are kind of red. Yeah, that is terrible. I mean, I hate to see stocks falling like this. That is not good to see, Peter. I mean, man, I hate to see banks falling down. And if the feds are still like easing and tightening and everything like that, that's just going to keep hurting the banks probably. But I will say, eventually the tightening and stuff will start to slow down, and I feel like the market will start to get back to normal. It's just we're still kind of in that crazy market. I will say I still kind of like banks down here. I think they're pretty low still. If you're like looking for like some longer term positions, I feel like some of these banks could be good to pick up. But I will say in the short term, they're definitely overextended. Like JP Morgan had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days in a row. And, you know, that's pretty rare, even in a bull market, to have 6 straight green days in a row. So I'm guessing we'll see some pullbacks here over the next few days, Peter. And yeah, thanks for pointing out the easing there. That's definitely a good thing to keep in mind. But yeah, kind of going back to the SPY here, trying to see what they're doing today. Looks like SPY is not going to be breaking out. They're kind of getting rejected here right around that 416.30 resistance, and now the SPY is starting to slowly trade back to the downside a little bit. So this is a little worrisome here today, guys. I will say it's not good to see, and I have a feeling that the SPY might start to pull back a little bit if we keep seeing this downwards price action. I will say my watch list isn't too red. The only issue is that, like Peter pointed out, banks are red. We're also seeing some big retailers like Walmart, Target. I know McDonald's is not a retailer, but you know they're in that value sector. They're also kind of falling off. Notice FedEx was down, Starbucks was down, Royal Caribbean, the cruise lines are down. AMC is down, which is strange, although they are coming back a little bit. But I will say AMC is down a little bit too. Pfizer's down. Pfizer's really fallen off the board, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but it has a ton of momentum to the downside the past couple days. And man, it's starting to look brutal on Pfizer. Let's see that 1-year daily chart. Wow, even that daily chart looks very weird here. Like it's been in a very strange setup as of late, and it's definitely kind of pointing down as of right now. Oh, I'm on the one. I was on the weekly. Okay, here we go. Yeah, but here, even on the daily, we have like 4 red days. It is starting to, like I said, you know, slowly point back to the downside here. So I don't know what to think about Pfizer, you know, especially with like the vaccines and everything. I would think that COVID is starting to slow down. So with that happening, I would expect Pfizer and maybe Moderna to start to fall back off a little bit. Moderna didn't really ever recover back, so who knows? Maybe they'll start to pop up. But anyways, I think that Pfizer looks like they might start to fall. Honestly, Moderna is kind of holding up today, and who knows, maybe if Moderna breaks above 150, it could make for a pretty good breakout play if you guys are able to catch it at a good spot with that nice momentum there. You know, it's always hard to time those plays, but I think you'll be able to catch one pretty good there. Yeah, Peter goes, SPY's reversing back. Yeah, it is. It's a little bit unfortunate now. We have that red movement coming in, and I will say, though, Peter, now it's almost coming back. You know, it's funny. It's been all over the place this morning. We just need to finally pick a solid direction here. I will say the way we're bouncing at 414 does look pretty decent intraday, so could always come back. Octavio Rodriguez says, $ACB. Good movement today, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. ACB. Yeah, I don't know. It's down 3.6%. I guess he means it's a good put play. Yeah, I guess it could be a good put play. You know, I honestly wouldn't think that's too bad there. It looks like last Friday they were kind of moving down with CGC's earnings, so that's definitely interesting. But yeah, I feel like it might be a good put play, Octavio. And I will say I feel bad for all the marijuana stocks. I like them, so for them to be going down so much is a little bit disheartening. I will say I'm glad I didn't hold my marijuana stocks that I had a long time ago, or it would have been brutal. So glad I sold out. Triple M. Keisha says Triple M just sold off hard. Let's see. Yeah, down 2.2%. Let's see that 5-minute though. Yeah, you know, it is selling off pretty hard today at market open. It sold off yesterday at open quite hard as well. So that is a little bit interesting, but yeah, it did actually sell off quite a bit there. So hopefully Triple M can hold up, but I don't have a very good feeling about this. You know, it's not looking the best, and I'm hoping that we can, as long as we hold up with Triple M, I think we'll be okay. If I look at Triple M, though, on a max daily, it's just been brutal the past few months, as it's been for a lot of stocks. So I'm not just blaming Triple M. You know, even like Walmart and those other stocks have been getting destroyed, but I would have expected them to maybe hold up a little bit better. the way that they fell back down to those COVID lows is pretty bad, I think, on Triple M. I always hate to see those bad moves like that, especially on such a good value stock. I used to own Triple M kind of like back where I circled here. I used to own them there. They had that big dip down with COVID, and I ended up selling actually for a profit on that recovery back up at some point. I should have held and sold it up around 200, but it was all right. You know, it was a pretty safe trade. It was a pretty big trade too. You know, like a lot of money was in there. So whenever it was down during COVID, I was, we'll just say this, guys, I was down quite a bit. So thank God that it recovered back and I was able to get out of that one, because that was a pretty crazy trade there. But yeah, Keisha, I will say Triple M did sell off today. That's a good point there. It had a fairly big pump back to that downside. I wonder if it'll be able to break below like maybe like 145 though. Looks like it's having some trouble, you know, continuing down right now, but I'm sure later on today it'll maybe keep going. You know, Matterport's actually breaking the high of this week, so this could be a pretty good breakout play if you guys like these breakouts here. You know, Matterport had a pretty good like triple top actually, right around like 575, and they're starting to just now break out above that. So if they can hold up and they can keep running, I feel like Matterport could have a pretty good run today. I know Unity looks like it's kind of following along. They're both kind of like metaverse stocks. You know, people talk about Unity a lot regarding the metaverse. Same thing with Matterport. Also, same thing with Roblox. And it looks like all three of those stocks are now starting to rip back up this morning. So the metaverse plays are coming back a little bit, guys. It's definitely awesome to see. So that's great there with Roblox. So amazing movement so far today with them. It looks like Asana's kind of holding up today too. I know I've been talking about Asana a lot over the past few weeks, and I've been really trying to like look at Asana for a nice like longer term play, but it's been a little rough with Asana. You know, it's been all over the place. But I will say the way Moskovitz, or I should say the old co-founder of Facebook, put like $1 billion into this should give us some type of good convictions, but you know, maybe not. It just depends on how the stock ends up moving. Hopefully buyers start coming in though. I will say there's a pretty good double bottom, like right around $18 a share. You can see the low there is at $17.87. So I think $18 will be pretty doable, like 100%. I would think that could definitely be doable there for sure. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to smash that like button today. You know, we're at 9 likes right now. Something like 15 or 20 likes would definitely help out the channel a little bit, and you know, who knows, maybe we'll start to get some more viewers coming in here. But I did kind of want to go back to some of these Chinese EV plays. You know, I will say XPEV, guys, is starting to move up in a pretty good way. And for all my technical traders out there, it looks like there is a bit of like a, yeah, there's like a bit of like a, I guess you could say like a trend line that they're going to try to break out above here. I will say though, it's not lining up, you know, as good as I would have hoped that it did. Let's see, maybe this trend line. Yeah, that's a little rough too. Yeah, the trend lines aren't really adding up too well on XPEV, but either way, it's starting to come up with some good momentum today. And I do feel like that as long as XPEV can maybe start to break above $25 over the next couple weeks, that we can start to maybe see some pretty big moves. You can see that $25 was a very big resistance as of last week, and we kind of dipped back down. Now we're right back on the uptrend here. I have a pretty good feeling, guys, that XPEV and some of these EV stocks might start to break this. You know, we had that good article earlier with NEO, but they talked a lot about XPEV and LI doing better. So that's interesting. We'll have to see how they move. But, you know, NEO's up today, and it looks like these other stocks are following along. So, you know, great price action out of XPEV and NEO. So I'm glad to see that with them. Kenya says, do you think Amazon will break the next big resistance around 25.15? Let's go check it out. I have a feeling they definitely can here, Kenya. It's just the thing is, it might not be today. It might take until tomorrow or something like that. So let's see. Yeah, that is a very big resistance there. Let's look at that 180-day 1-hour chart. Yeah, like you said, 25.15, somewhere like right around 25.20, I guess you could say too. Yeah, there's like that little wick extends down right there. Yeah, I would say if we could break like 25.20, I think that could make for a pretty good move up, Kenya. Personally, do I think it can happen right now? I would think that it's unlikely, but we're in a strange scenario with that split coming up. If that split was not coming up, I would think that the chances were pretty low because we've had one, two, three, four. This is like the fifth green day in a row out of Amazon, and I would expect a bit of a slowdown eventually, just some type of consolidation. So I wouldn't be playing this personally, but I will say I have a pretty good chance that Amazon could keep going up into that split. Whenever stocks split, it seems like it usually brings in a lot of hype. But just be very careful, guys, because right after these splits, sometimes the stocks like to go back down. Just be very careful. We saw Tesla go down after their split. We saw Amazon, or I should say Apple, also go down after their split. So that was a little bit rough with those stocks. But looking at the stock today, personally, I don't think that we're going to break 25.15, but I will say that as far as Amazon goes, I think there could be a possibility of it going up just because that split always brings in so much hype. But just be very careful, guys. I think that it's going to be a very tough one with Amazon. Just flip a coin, I think. You have a very big event coming up, and personally, I just feel like it's going to go either way. It's going to be almost like an earnings play, though. I have a feeling that after the split, the stocks IV or something might go crazy, so always be careful of that. Peter says, or I should say, Bic S says, hi, Mike and Tom, I have Amazon calls. Should I keep riding it into the split? Yeah, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Personally, I would say, $2,500 is a pretty good price target. We were just at $2,000 almost last week, so I think that it's a good time to take profits. That's just me, though. I know a lot of people who've been winning a lot off of Amazon lately, like Keisha and a couple others. So, I would recommend taking some profits here, at least on some of the contracts. I don't know how many contracts you have, but I would at least do something. It's way too overextended in the short term. And, you're heading up into that split. It's just in a few days, actually, guys. Like, we only have today, which is Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, and the split's going to be Monday. So really, after today, only 2 more trading days, and Friday's going to be rough. All those Friday expirations. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. Personally, I would say take those profits. Hunter says he agrees too. So yeah, I would say those profits would be the way to go right now. But Peter says TLT's been ripping since pre-market. It's up 0.56%. Yeah, it is kind of ripping back up there, Peter. That is interesting to see, but I will say TLT has been on quite the downtrend over the past couple months. Man, this thing's been ripping down. I remember Michael Burry had some TLT puts a long time ago, and it took a long time for this to finally work out, but man, TLT finally started ripping down. We're all the way down to now 116. You can see I had a main channel drawn up here for a long time, up around like 145. And once we finally fell below that channel, we started really falling off to the downside. But man, that was a brutal drop with TLT as these rates have started to rise. Man, it's been insane to see actually how they've been running, but how it's been falling, I should say. TBT has been kind of running up though. If you guys are interested, TBT likes to go up where TLT, generally goes down. So keep that in mind. Keisha says, what do you think of CrowdStrike and Expedia to the upside? CrowdStrike was looking great, Keisha. I will say though, it's just like everything else. Oh, they have earnings. Okay. They're tomorrow actually. With them having earnings tomorrow, Keisha, I'm not going to be too bullish on them. I will say though, I think that they're in a good sector. And I think that CrowdStrike could possibly have some good earnings and definitely some good upwards movement with earnings. It's just personally, I'm not going to play earnings, and it's impossible to guess those. So I would say with price action, I like the way it's setting up. It's holding up pretty well. There is a bit of resistance at 170, so maybe wait for like the breakout with that before you play it. But with earnings could make it gap up or gap down 5 to 10% or whatever. So it's probably gonna have a pretty big move with those earnings, I would guess. So hopefully we see it move up though. Looks like EXPE or Expedia is starting to kind of fall back off here actually this week, but they were also right around a big resistance at like 134. I hope that Expedia can continue to move up here in the short term. They've definitely been getting beaten down ever since that earnings, and I hope that they can recover back. Personally, though, I don't like this one too much. The setup is just not my favorite here. If I was going to grab a stock that's low right now, I would look a lot harder at like a Disney or Netflix maybe, or Facebook, you know, something like that. I think I like that a little bit better. Talking about Facebook, I kind of was calling that trade out this morning up to around $200. Looks like we got it up to $199.50, and we started kind of pulling back a little bit. But yeah, my swing update this morning, I did think Facebook could potentially go up, but man, we didn't touch 200. I was hoping for a nice touch up to 200, but hey, we got it at least within 50 cents, which is good for a $200 stock, I guess. So I'll take that movement with Facebook. It broke out in a fairly good way, but yeah, guys, like I said, don't forget to like that stream here. If we could get up to 20 likes today, it would definitely be awesome. So, you know, as always, I definitely appreciate it. And of course, you know, stocks are doing pretty well today. So hopefully that warrants a bit of a like. But talking about some of these stocks that are up, I am noticing that Shopify is coming back up a little bit too. They've been really ripping up the past week. Kind of looked like they followed Amazon's price action this morning. You know, they broke above yesterday's high. Now they're starting to pull back down ever so slightly. What about crude oil here? I noticed crude is kind of popping up today, coming back up to 116 a little bit. Let's see, ZOM. Yeah, ZOM is coming back too. Oxy starting to rip back, so that's great. I remember yesterday morning, Oxy was on fire, and then at the end of the day, Oxy ended up selling off in a huge way. And there's been some pretty crazy news coming out where OPEC is going to apparently, I don't know exactly what they're going to do with Russia, but they're pretty much going to, like, for example, they're going to be doing some type of, like, thing with oil supply, OPEC pluses, and they're not going to include Russia in those current plans. So whatever they're doing, they're going to be, like, for example, outputting a lot of oil maybe to try and, you know, bring the price of oil on the market down or something, and they're not going to include oil or Russia in those plans, which means Russia isn't going to get to make, you know, quite as much profits as those other countries, which is interesting. You know, those other countries are like the UAE and other countries like that. So it's kind of interesting to see that all the fighting going on between OPEC plus and, you know, OPEC and Russia and all those entities over there. You know, they're usually a pretty tight-knit group. So to see them kind of, you know, having some diversity over there, or adversity, is kind of insane. You know, they've usually been pretty hand in hand. So I wonder if we're maybe playing a role telling the UAE, like, hey, you better, you know, if you want our good deals or something, you better continue to, you know, put Russia down or something. But either way, that was definitely affecting the price of oil in a big way. Let's see if it's actually up here. Let's see. Oh, here it is. It says oil slides as OPEC Plus reportedly mulls Russia's exclusion from the group output. So yeah, looks like they're going to be having a big group output, and they're exempting Russia from their oil production targets. And it says it's gonna pave the way for Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and other producers in the organizations of OPEC to pump significantly more crude, something that U.S. and European nations have pressed them to do, as the invasion of Ukraine sent oil prices soaring above $100 per barrel. So that's very interesting. But they're pretty much saying that Russia doesn't have to do this. So I don't know if this is a good thing for Russia or a bad thing for Russia. You guys can maybe, you know, contemplate that in the chat if you want to. But either way, though, it's very interesting to see that OPEC they're kind of suspending Russia's participation, I guess you could say, in that oil production deal. Like we say, though, Russia probably wants to keep oil prices high. So that might be why they're excluding Russia, is Russia probably doesn't want to do this. So who knows? Either way, it sounds a lot better if they exclude them than if Russia just decides to go against them, I guess. So, but yeah, either way, it's definitely interesting for the price of oil. You know, it's made oil fall down as of yesterday, but today we are kind of ripping a little bit back to the upside there. Peter said SPY just made new lows. Oh no, Peter, that is not good. Let's see. Yeah, down to 412. Yeah, it's turning back over, unfortunately. We're not getting that nice breakout that we were hoping for. Looks like Apple is we broke 150. Now Apple's even turning back over to the downside. Facebook is really ripping back down after hitting 200 up there, or I should say 199.50. Microsoft's coming back down. Wow, after hitting 277.69. Man, I noticed my whole watch list is turning redder now. We have Walmart pulling back. Yeah, wow, it's really turning over now into the red. Even AMC is now down 4.6%, and it just looks brutal, like it's going to keep selling off that 100 SMA. Wow, wow, wow. Bad day, guys. Bad reverse here by some of these stocks. Looks like Kraft Heinz is kind of turning back over after that brutal drop last week as well. We even have AbbVie coming down. Goldman Sachs and the banks are pulling back, like Peter mentioned earlier. Peter, you kind of forecasted the market dropping here. You know, ever since you said those banks were coming down, the market has slowly been turning back over to the downside ever so slightly. Notice Boeing's even like having a big pullback. Like they were doing great at market open, and now they are ripping back down. I will say though, some of these tech plays like Nvidia, DraftKings, you know, some stocks like that are still holding up okay for today so far, but it definitely is not good to see, you know, Apple and a couple other of those stocks turning back over. Hopefully they can start to go back up a little bit. I will say a lot of stocks in the red, I wouldn't have expected to necessarily bring the market down so much. I know like Walmart, Target, and those stocks are having a big impact on it. I know Tesla's in the red too, which is probably impacting it a lot too. But I will say overall, like Apple's like actually green technically, which is good. You know, like I know they're running down with momentum right now, but technically they're green. Facebook's technically green too. Same thing with Amazon and a lot of other stocks. So I don't know. It's kind of mixed, but the market is definitely pulling back. I guess the banks are probably weighing in on it a little bit more than, you know, we would think here. Keisha says Intel has had some nice green days lately. Has it? Let's see. Is it still green today? Wow, it really has, Keisha. Yeah, it's been kind of recovering up here with some of these growth stocks. It's up 0.3%, and it's been doing quite well on this daily chart. Yeah, it's been really holding up. I will say I've been very worried actually about good old Intel here, guys. I don't know about you guys, but man, Intel has been worrying me. We've been kind of breaking below this key green support level I've had on my chart here around $43. I've had this on my charts here for like a couple years now, and you know, we've started to really like break back below that. Like I said, it had me really worried there for a while. So, you know, I'm glad to see that Intel is holding up and starting to do a little bit better there, Keisha. I'm really glad that that's what's happening here. Vicky says, kind of insane. Does the genocides Russia's committing in Ukraine doesn't give them enough reasons for OPEC to kick Russia out of the group? It's about time. This has gone on for over 3 months. Yeah, you're right, Vicky. It really has. This situation in Russia has been terribly bad. It's been really rough over the past few months, like you said, and obviously a lot of atrocities have been going on. So it's definitely been brutal, and I would really like to see maybe OPEC kick Russia out, but that's never going to happen, because if they kick Russia out, then, you know, OPEC would not be as powerful, so it's tough for them, but OPEC's just going to have to live with Russia. And to be honest, Vicky, you know, Russia and the UAE and all those countries, they probably all like each other quite a bit. So, I'm sure like Iran and a few other of those countries are kind of in that group as well. And I know that they've been pretty friendly over the years with each other. So I don't know, but I doubt that they're going to kick each other out of groups anytime soon. And as we know, Vicky, a lot of those countries over there, they dislike the West and the U.S. quite a bit. So I bet that's what's going on. They're probably all, you know, ganging up on us in the background there, but it's all right. You know, we're used to it. Either way, you know, we have the good stuff going on over here, so I'll take it. But yeah, either way, guys, let me know what stocks you guys are eyeing up here. You know, we're up to around like 10:15 this morning Eastern time, so trying to see how the stock market is going to continue on throughout the day today. You know, maybe there's some good stocks with some good momentum here, but as of now, it looks like SPY is pulling back down to 412. Looks like we're going to be coming back down to around that 410 support down here. And I will say, guys, the way that we're pulling back today, I don't really expect the SPY to hold up here too much. I have a feeling we might be able to break below 410, and who knows how low we're going to be able to really run down today, but I would not be surprised if the market just kept moving lower. You know, it does look like that there is some pretty good momentum here to the downside. And I'll tell you, I hate to see that, but I will say, guys, the SPY lately has been breaking out of some pretty good trend lines here on the charts. I'll show you here on the hourly chart. You can kind of see how the SPY has been staying between this main channel all throughout the day, and we've been kind of falling off to the downside, and it's just been ripping down and just slowly, you know, trading lower over the past couple months. And right now, SPY has finally been breaking this trend line now back to the upside. I'm going to extend that out up to the right. So you can see that there's been a secondary trend line now going back up that we've started to kind of trade along there. And I will say that it looks like so far we've been bouncing off of it pretty well. And we're going to have to see if maybe as the SPY falls and we start to hit that 410 support, if maybe SPY can hold up here on this bottom blue trend line again. I will say, though, I doubt that it's going to happen this time. You know, if the SPY keeps falling and we keep seeing Apple and these other stocks go, it'll probably break this trend line right back to the downside. But hopefully we see some nice holds here. As long as the SPY can hold up maybe above $400, I think that we still have a pretty good shot to continue up over the next few months. But it's going to be a tough go. You know, the SPY is going to be rough. Who knows how low we're going to go in the short term before we start turning back around. You know, we're still going to have more rate hikes, and the Feds have been increasingly hawkish. You know, I keep seeing, seems like every day there's a new article of like a different Fed speaker talking about the market falling. And yeah, it just, it definitely sucks whenever the Feds just continually talk about the market. You know, like every day, for example, a different Fed governor is coming out saying that he expects, you know, the market to be shaky as they continue to raise rates by 50 basis points over the next few months or whatever. You know, they keep coming out with more hawkish statements, and it's kind of just weighing down on the markets once again. But you know what happens? The Feds definitely do that. Peter says SPY below 412. Kenya says SPY at 411. Yeah, it's all the way down to 410.80 now. It is getting rough, guys. There's that big support, though, I will say, at 410. I remember eyeing that up yesterday, and it ended up being a very big support that played out very well for us, which was good. But today we'll have to see what can happen, because I'm not sure that the SPY will be able to hold up around 410 or not. But yeah, you know, we definitely did not get that breakout I was hoping for, guys. So that is a little bit unfortunate there. You know, stocks were just getting too high in the short term. I will say, like, if we look at that 180-day, 1 hour chart, the SPY had a lot of big green days in a row. So you just have to expect a couple days of consolidation. And like I said, you know, we're holding up pretty well. It's not like we're falling back down below 400 or anything like that. We're still up around like 410. So it's okay. You know, you can see that the movement that we've had today was pretty much the same amount of movement we had in the market yesterday. So you can keep that in mind too. That's just like normal price action as of now. But a lot of those stocks are still coming back. Like Facebook's coming down. Apple's now almost down in the red, guys. I mean, it's still ripping back down. It's down below 150. We're at like 149.50 now. So yeah, we're having some bad pullbacks there. Looks like NEO is also having a pretty bad pullback, guys. Like, we're still up 5%, but yeah, it is ripping back down. Amazon's only up 2% now. That one's also do you guys still believe in AMC? Do you think it's bullshit or what? Like, I think AMC can be pretty good, but I have a feeling that AMC is, I don't know, guys. I have a weird feeling in the bottom of my heart that it's just done. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I have a bad feeling that it's done for. And man, I was trying to be optimistic about it, you know, especially before it fell below like $20 or whatever. But it just, yeah, it's been brutal to say the least, guys, with poor old AMC. I wish it can go back, but I'm not going to be, like I said, I'm not optimistic about it, and I don't see it really happening too much. Who knows? Maybe if Tom Cruise keeps coming out with these big movies, it can go up, or who knows? Maybe Johnny Depp will go back to Pirates of the Caribbean if he wins the Amber Heard trial. I bet he will, actually. I bet that'll be a big movie whenever that comes out next. If the if there's another Pirates movie that comes out, or, sequel or whatever. There's been so many of those movies now. It's been kind of crazy, but I don't know about you guys, but I've been following that trial quite a bit. It's been very funny. There's been some very funny stuff with the Depp Heard trial, and I don't know. I really like those Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so I was kind of like naturally interested in how that trial was. But either way, AMC is down though today, guys. It's still kind of pulling back off here to the downside a little bit. Definitely not having the best price action intraday today. Microsoft also, pulling back a lot intraday. It is still holding up though on the day. We're still green, which is great. We're actually still green on Microsoft, Apple, and Facebook all right now, so that is relieving. It looks like Facebook's kind of bouncing off this 200 and 100 SMA right now on the 5-minute chart. Who knows? That might be a pretty good little intraday support buy, guys. I mean, honestly, that's not looking too bad. It's also off the 1000 SMA on the 1 minute, so yeah, that's actually not a bad play there. If these markets start popping back, we're seeing Apple bounce off the 100 SMA, Facebook's bouncing off the 100 SMA. Even Microsoft is bouncing on the 100 SMA. So very interesting that all three of those big stocks are sitting right on the 100 on the 5-minute there. But nonetheless, we'll have to see if they can start to get some big moves up off of the 100, or if we're going to start blasting back down. As of now, I'm a little bit worried we might keep blasting down because it's been a brutal, brutal day here. Peter says, I like AMC better than GME, to be honest, but both are kind of terrible. Yeah, I guess that's kind of how I feel too, Peter. I don't know which one I like better between GameStop or AMC. I know GameStop's been kind of getting into all this NFT stuff lately, so I know that's been pretty big for them at least. Ugh. Sorry, excuse me, guys. I had to grab a quick drink of my vitamin water there. But yeah, GameStop is definitely coming back down today, down to 120. Pretty big area of support down here. I will say, as far as GameStop goes and support goes, 120 doesn't look like it's going to end up holding up today. In my eyes, it kind of looks like GameStop wants to fly down through this. But we do have earnings coming up tonight with GameStop, which is going to be very interesting. So I don't know how that's going to go, but hopefully we see GameStop start to pop back up with earnings. Like I said, they've been talking about getting into like an NFT marketplace or something like that. So maybe that can help them out a little bit. Raymond says airlines and Boeing are crashing. Yeah, they really are. That is a big deal there, Raymond. Boeing is pulling back in a pretty big way, down 1.85%. He says airlines are crashing. Yeah, we have CCL, even the cruise lines are coming down. DAL, Delta Airlines, AAL, you're right. Those are really pulling back here today in a big, big way, Raymond. And that's unfortunate because these airlines were finally looking like they might try to start to pop up. But, I guess they did have like 4 green days in a row. So 1 red day sprinkled in, I guess it isn't too bad, but I am definitely a little bit worried about it though, Raymond. That's for sure. Hopefully we can just continue to hold up here for the next few days. It'll be very helpful if maybe by the end of the week we can start to turn back around. I think we're going to need to see good movement out of the SPY though, of course. The SPY's still pulling back here. We're down to 411 again, and yeah, it's brutal here to see how SPY is all the way down. Thanks for pointing that out there, Kenya and Peter, because, man, the poor SPY just kept ripping. Let's see, is there any other stocks you guys are interested in? Like, is Cornish in here this morning? I know we have a good old Callaway Golf here. Let's see how they're moving. Yeah, they're kind of falling back down. I need to check back in on some of these firearm stocks, like SWBI, some of those other plays. I really feel like, guys, that SWBI and Ruger, RGR, might be pretty good here over the next couple weeks. We're having talks of more gun control laws and stuff like that. And as we know, that type of stuff does not do well with the gun community. And people generally love to go out and buy like as much guns as they can before these bans and stuff like that start to happen. Number one, because you want to buy it up because the item is getting banned. But number two, just anytime that there's more gun control laws or anything like that put into place, the prices of everything start skyrocketing because everybody wants them. So, it's gonna make these gun manufacturers probably do pretty well here over the next few months. I don't know if you guys are interested in these types of plays or not, but I'm telling you, like, Smith and Wesson could be a very, very, very good pickup, especially with talks of, gun control legislation and stuff like that. That's going to be very big for the gun community. I already have friends who own guns who are wanting to get some more here. I will say, guys, I don't know about you, but we'll just say this. I love myself a good Smith and Wesson or two. We'll just we'll just say that. But either way, it's looking pretty good here. Smith and Wesson. RGR is the other one. There was POWW, which is Ammo Incorporated too. This one's kind of like a penny stock though. It's like $4 a share. Could be pretty good though. It's been kind of popping back up with the other gun MFGs, so that's good to see. Let's see here in the comments. We still have Raymond just saying airlines and Boeing kind of crashing back down. Yes, they are. CCL, AAL still kind of selling off today, unfortunately. Good old CCL actually still has some good momentum to the downside. So I wonder how much further these airlines and cruise lines are going to fall, but it definitely looks like it's going to keep going. I will say CRM's holding up pretty well. Of course, it's pulled back like 5 points, but compared to where we were yesterday, this one is still significantly higher. I did notice that like Neo's coming back, XPEV. Yeah, XPEV is also starting to turn over quite a bit today, which is unfortunate. I'm going to kind of go in here and see maybe some of the big headlines today and see maybe like what's kind of leading the way here this morning, because I don't see anything too crazy. Let's see. Elon Musk reportedly tells Tesla workers to return to the office full-time or resign. That's pretty funny with Elon there. Yeah, I know Elon is pretty big about getting back into person, or getting back to in-person work and everything like that. So that's pretty cool to see that Tesla is still doing well like this. Looks like Apple will reportedly move some iPad capacity to Vietnam. Good old Vietnam, guys, after the China lockdowns. Wow, that's pretty interesting to see. Very interesting, to say the least there. Good old Vietnam. Yep, here they're talking about suspending Russia from that oil deal like I was talking about earlier. That's definitely pretty big with them. Man, anytime I think of Vietnam, I just think of all those bad wars from back in the day. Talk about bad wars, kind of getting a good glimpse of that with Ukraine right now. But yeah, nonetheless, though, always reminds me of that. This kind of is interesting here. Yellen says the administration is fighting inflation, admits that she was wrong, that it was transitory. So that's very interesting. She kind of admits that she was wrong here, and she does say that it's way too high and that it's a big burden on American households. So that's pretty big. She says the president emphasized his intention to do everything he can to lower the cost that Americans face for important items in their budget. She noted prescription drugs, utility bills, things where the president, acting on his own or working with Congress, can make a difference, and also support for deficit reduction. Yeah, we do need some deficit reduction too. I will say, ever since Biden's gotten in, we definitely have not been reducing any deficits. That's for sure. So I don't know what she means by that, but she's definitely right. We definitely do need to start reducing those deficits. But it's good to hear that Biden's going to try to bring inflation down. He's going to bring it down just in time for midterms, guys. Make everybody suffer for 2 years, and then right before the elections, boom, I'm going to be the good guy. Here we go. We have Raymond saying casinos falling too. Not good. We have Penn Gaming coming down. Looks like MGM's down. Caesars. Yeah, not good, guys. Not good one bit. Yeah, Caesars is definitely starting to turn over. That is terrible to look at. Yeah, I hate to see that, guys. I'd like to see some better moves out of some of these stocks like Caesars and other stocks like that. That is a little bit disheartening to see this, but it's all right. It happens. It's a part of the market here. But I'd like to see just these stocks start to go back up. It's been a long time. Like, look at poor Caesars here, guys. I mean, they're at $50 a share. Penn Gaming's even worse. I mean, they're at 31 a share, and they just keep getting brutalized here. So I feel like at some point they're gonna start to go up. Uh-oh. Peter, are we below 410? Let's see. Oh, okay. We're holding up above 410 for now. Yeah, I think 410 is going to be a very big level there, Peter, to watch. We have 410. Then we also have this big trend line here on the chart as well. This trend line has been holding up very well over the past few weeks back to the upside. So hopefully, in my opinion, I hope that SPY holds this trend line. If it doesn't hold, then like you said, I think we could see a big sell-off. You know, if we break below 410, that trend line is going to be right around like 408.40 or like 409. So pretty close there. We'll have to see what ends up happening. But I hope SPY kind of doubles bottoms here. But I don't have a good feeling about this, Peter. It does look like there's some green coming in as of like this very minute. But overall, I have a feeling that the SPY might start to pull back below that later on today, because lots of stocks are still pulling back to the downside today. It is a bit unfortunate, but yeah, we are approaching around 10:30 here, guys. If you guys are interested in any other stocks, you want me to cover anything really quick before we end the stream, definitely let me know. You know, I'll look at a couple more quick stocks or something like that. And if you guys are interested, you know, let me know any stocks you guys are day trading or anything like that. I'll look into them for you. But yeah, just let me know here over the next couple minutes, and we'll see what happens here. And as always, don't forget to like the stream. You know, that always helps, and it'll help maybe push the stream tomorrow or something like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining up today. Peter says, crazy low volume on the SPY too, for it to be midday. Is it? Let's see. I don't really ever look at like the volume on the days usually. Not too much. I always have it down here in blue. It looks like, just eyeing up the blue movement, it's kind of like yesterday, but I don't know the exact like numbers on that. You know, like if I go to volume, let's see. You know, there's some candles where we had like 400,000 volume, some 100,000 volume yesterday. Yeah, I guess it is a little bit less, but in the end though, it's still looking pretty good here today, Peter. Like if we can hold 410, I think it'll be okay. And I still think that the market overall over the past few days has been holding up okay. I do think that even if we move down, it's just normal price action. I still think if we hold like 400 or something, we still might have a pretty good chance maybe to come up. But hopefully we hold 410 today, Peter. Like you said, below that, I think we could start to sell off pretty hard there. So yeah, but thanks for joining up, Vicky. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you, Peter, Raymond, Square, Keisha, Bick, George, Mike, Chang, Octavio, Kenya, Renzo. Yeah, thank you guys all for joining up today. It's been a pretty good trading day. I appreciate all the nice talk and the nice questions and everything like that in the chat. Definitely appreciate that. We're only 2 likes away from 20, so hopefully we can hit that over the next couple minutes. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining. Before I go, though, I will say that SPY just broke below 410 here, so there we go. It's starting to run down here. I wonder how low we're going to get, or if it's just going to be like a fake out or something. Hopefully we can see it continue to have that nice momentum down. There comes Peter in the chat saying below 410, below 410. So that's awesome. George says 20. Yep, thank you, George. I appreciate you. There it is, 20 likes. Thank you guys so much. We got up there to 20. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. You know, it always helps to see those likes and everything like that come in, and you know, it definitely gives you some good inspiration to keep doing these live streams. So thank you guys so much for those likes there. It definitely helps. But I wonder where that market's gonna go here, guys. You know, it looks like we are starting to break below 410. I will watch it here for a couple more minutes just to see if maybe we're going to break below or if we're going to have a bit of a fake out. I will say, guys, I have a pretty good chance in my mind that the SPY has a good shot to still continue down here. It does look like it's going to try to hold up around 410, though, so it doesn't look like it's going to fall off too hard or, you know, too quickly as of now, but we'll have to see how these 1-minute candles continue. Like, if I was trading this, I would probably be buying some puts here and holding, waiting for some waiting for some good momentum to start to come in, because whenever that momentum starts to hit, it should start going. Yeah, there we go. We're starting to finally get some good extensions now, down to like 409.70. Yeah, I love this movement, guys. Love this price action. Continuing lower. So, yeah, hopefully you guys can catch some good plays. Maybe it looks like puts are going to be the way here, you know, especially on SPY today. But, yeah, I appreciate you guys all joining up. Looks like we finally got that big breakdown. We're all the way down to 409.50 now. So, hopefully you guys were cashing in on some of these quick scalps here. I think that could have been a pretty good scalp play there. And hopefully it just continues to move down. So, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Catch those tendies and have a good one.